Our faith emanates from him as the author and finisher of our faith. I'm so happy that I'm a Christian. If I was not born again by grace, by now I'll be dead or very deadly. I narrowly escaped death in 1978. I was almost drowned in the waterside somewhere in Abayi Road where we went to learn how to smoke different kind of things. I missed my step and fell into the river. The water threw me up the first time, threw me up the second time. How it does, I don't know. Threw me up the third time. I was about to sink. One diver jumped into the river, caught me as I landed on the water, and flicked me out. By now, I would have been in hell. I would have become a story. But Jesus saved me from the miracle, pulled me out. You know, one thing you need to check. Well, one of our boys that were together with us at Futo, one of our NIFES fellowship, sent a picture he had with a mad young man on the WhatsApp. You know, we're all worried, concerned. Why are you snapping picture with a madman? He said, no, except for Jesus. I could have been in that state. Because he was walking around the road and had a voice calling his name. Calling his name, he turned. Look at, he's a madman. He shifted backward. The boy called him the guy name they used to call him on campus. So he came closer and looked at him, and that was his cosmate that has become mental. He now said, come, let's now. They did a picture, and he wrote on that, if it were not Jesus, they could have been my state, because he would have been given to drugs and all the things. Have you checked how you became a Christian? It's not by exchange of business in the stock market. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 14 said, the love of all constrained us, for with us judge, if one died for all, then are all dead. 15 said, he died, so that they that live should no longer from henceforth live for themselves, but live for him that loved them, died, and rose again. How you became a Christian is at somebody's life expense. He didn't pay any money. Could have been dead. My classmate was burnt as an armed robber at Ariaria Market. I can keep counting some of them. Those days we got born again, some sneaked out from the secondary school, took their father's car to a hotel, after being drunk, drove out and hit a covert, and they died on the spot. Who came to school to tell us that students in the hostel are in the car dead. And some of us would have joined them. He died. He had power not to die. He said, I have power to lay down my life. I have power to take it up. Literally, it's not even the people that hung him on the cross that killed him. He gave up his ghost. He could decide to hang there for 1 year and they would be tired and go home. Because in him was life. And the life was the light of man. So bad he gave up his growth. He said, I laid down my life. He laid down his life for you to live. Hey, you know what? I used to think like a child. What if God said there's no going to heaven again, there's no hell again, but from now on, any sin you commit will be like mud on your face, bam, and it's irremovable. So don't confess again, don't give offering, everybody on your own. By now, you'll be a masquerade, you know, because the thing we keep dropping, that we will not see your face again. We will not see you, and it's irremovable. It's better I'm worshiping him. Let him be forgiving me small, so that I'll still be okay. He died. It's at the expense. That's why he said to be the author and finisher of the faith. In him we live, we walk, we have our being. There is no other place he can stay that is proper except at the center of our lives. It should be the first consideration and the last consultation. We consult him first, we consult him last. There's a way Paul wrote to the Colossians chapter 3 He said, if you then be risen with Christ, seek those things that are above, where Christ is seated. Set your affection on things above, not on things beneath. For you are dead, and your life is hid in Christ, and Christ in God. So that when Christ, who is our life, shall appear, we shall appear with him in glory. Christ, who is our life. Who is our life? Who is our life? We will not go deep to dissect that. He is our life. Don't mind all this gara we're doing. If devil handle you, we are doing warfare. We are doing warfare with who and who? You are fighting somebody you don't see, somebody that don't sleep, somebody older than your grandfather. Where will you attack him from? Very wicked devil that does not have capacity to have pity. Somewhere in Akwa Ibom, one of my uncles is a pastor. The village people were quarreling. You know, devil is really wicked though. He will send you on errand and send the person that will catch you. He will send you on errand. You know, very wicked devil. Very wicked devil. The more you are closer to him, the more endanger their life. He doesn't have any friend. You are not really friend. They were threatening themselves with evil powers, as it were. Lo and behold, one of the men was eating rice and swallowed the spoon. How he swallowed the spoon cannot be. They carried him to my uncle's church. He's still alive, Reverend John. They rushed him to the hospital. The doctors looked at them and said, just return back to your church and pray anything you can pray. Any knife on this man, he's dead. How can somebody swallow spoon? They were praying, asking God for mercy, and the man vomited the spoon covered with mucus. How? Very wicked devil. If it's not Jesus, I know you're a prayer warrior, but you sleep a lot. We will not tell anybody. You have slept while praying, but we are not going to mention it to anybody. So it's not it's not you alone. You know, the other day I was so tired. I was doing counseling. Sleep carried me. The man said, Reverend, are you still hearing me? I said, yes, yes. So if it's you are being awake, then you are gone. But we are kept by the power of God. Somebody shout hallelujah. Christ, who is our life. So it is the faith hangs on him. Then when you don't love him first, which faith are you carrying? If it's not the driving force, if it's not the controlling force, then which faith? Say, you have left me your first love. You can now see, because of one insult, you stop coming to church program. When Jesus endured everything to save you. One insult that is not even balanced. You know, there are some, and it's not even an insult, only that you didn't hear well. Because the person said to you, are you stupid? You just say no and continue doing what you're doing. Is that an insult? It was you that now turned it to insult. You come and say, Pastor, can you imagine he said I'm stupid? He didn't say that. He said, are you stupid? You said, no, my dear. Then you go ahead with the program you are doing. Christ, who is our life. And he is the centrality of the faith. Not only that he's the author and finisher, he is the centrality of the faith. There is no faith without him. None. They asked Jesus one question, Matthew 22, from the old crossing over to the new, verse 36 and 37. They said, Oga, which one is the greatest law? Greatest commandment? He said, hear, O Israel, the Lord thy God is one Lord. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy might. In the same version in Mark, he said, you love him with all your strength. He said, for this is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it, thou shalt love thy neighbor. As I said, some translation, that first love, they say, you don't love me the way you're supposed to love me, and you don't love one another the way you're supposed to love. That's how some translation put that, Revelation 2:5, 2:4. Say, that is the greatest. He said, on this stand the law and the prophets. What is the first one? Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all your heart. When you love somebody with all your heart, which side remain? To love another thing. It means that every other love is hanging on the one. I love you because of the love I have for Christ. That's why even when you offend me, I can forgive you without you apologizing. Not just because of you, but because of Christ. The more I look at what he does and look at what he promised to do, it's easy to flow. You know, we were helping a young man. My wife is always looking for trouble, finding people to help. You know. So he went and brought one young man having hepatitis with a little money. I took him for treatment, finished treatment, came back. The day he came back was on a Christmas day, 25th December. My wife said, what do we have? How does he go home? We gave him some rice, some tomato, and small meat, chicken. And we were still packing things inside. As he was going, he stole my wife's phone. So we now came looking for the phone. So as we used to do so many times, we entered into the room and said, Lord, who took our phone? You know, this humorous, caring, ever-present God. He whispered the name of the boy. So I go to the young man's house and say, please, we're looking for a phone. I went privately. I didn't tell anybody in my family. I said, let me come and tell you to think about the phone for 3 days. I'll come back for answer. He said, did God say I stole it? I said, I didn't say. I said, just think about the phone. 3 days later, he called me. He started telling me stories. I said, there's a land they are selling here. I said, I don't have money now to buy it. I said, is that why you called me? He said, I want to tell you I took the phone. I said, why? Okay, that's not a problem. Where is it? He said, I know you say I'm a thief. I said, you are not a thief. He said, why? I said, I know you are not a thief. Something came over you. You took over the phone. He said, I told him, God told me you are not a thief. There's a pressure on you. Where is the phone? He sold it that time, either 2,000 something. I went and paid the 2,000, recovered the phone. We had the same card inside. He said, I opened it and it fell off. We went through the whole estate looking for SIM card. I didn't find. What of the money? I think, was it 2,000 naira attached to it? I took it. I said to myself, what do? I don't want people to know this boy as a thief. So I went and hid the phone near my boss in my bedroom and told my children, including this one that's become a big girl now. I was a small girl. I said, everyone, look, let's search for the phone. It was hard, I found it. He said, Daddy, I found it near your boss. Oh, so you are the thief. I said, maybe something like that. You know, I put the 2,000 naira by it. So everybody left. My wife said to me, come, enter the room. I entered. He said, where did you get this phone? I said, He said, shh, cool down. My own 2,000 naira has 250 naira inside it. It is not 500. So, you know, in every crime, there's always a loophole. You know? He said, now tell me. I said, see who took it, see what we discussed. We couldn't find their SIM card. I brought it back. I don't want these children to know him as a thief. He said, why are you doing that? He said, I'm not just being righteous. There's something I read in the Bible. I'm trying to, use it for my advantage. He said, which one? He said, forgive us as we forgive them. So if any day angel come and say, God is angry with you, I say, God, cool down. I forgave that boy. Why won't you forgive me? Cool down. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all your heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind. All. We need to, as we look at this, because that's why we came, I want you to be gauging your love. What's the percentage? They beg you to come for prayer meeting. They beg you to come for study. They beg you to serve as an usher. They beg you to join the leadership. You are too busy in Abuja, and that's why you came to pursue money, not to do church, And you come to church pitying the pastor so that they have a company for a Sunday morning, and then you move. You are executive worshiper. Say, you are even fortunate I came. We'll have a meeting in my office. I said, let me just come. Like one man, they were giving an award in one church. They were reading his profile. There was one area that just was so sweet for me. They said the man is a busy man, but in the midst of his busy schedule, he squeezes out time to serve God. I say, God, manage it at all. And I hear what's past. He squeezes out time. You squeeze out time to pray. You squeeze out time to read Bible. After all the other things, you use 2 minutes and just say, well, prayer, Lord, you are there. You know what is happening. Take care. Romans chapter 12 and verse 1 said, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. You present your body a living sacrifice. The import of the living sacrifice is that you are the one that climb on the altar by yourself. The dead sacrifice, you carry it. But this one, you climb up to be sacrificed. And he said, this is your reasonable. Anything around outside reasonable is what? When it's unreasonable, does it count? And be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that you may know that which is good and perfect and acceptable will of God. So he is the centrality of the faith. Loving him with all our heart, with all our soul. Offering our whole self to him as a living sacrifice. May I remind you something, brethren? In this faith, you don't actually have life. Because you were dead. And your life is hid in Christ. He died. That's 2 Corinthians 5:15. So that they that live should henceforth, from the time you accept his death, you no longer live for yourself. You live for him. You live for him. What does it mean to live for somebody? Everything about you, horizontally and vertically, belongs to him. One of my young men taught me something. I called him and said, we are launching an outreach like the one we're planning for July. Please, I want you to be involved. See our budget. Is there any way you can? Which grammar did I say? I think you can. You help? He says, sir, that language is wrong. I said, what's wrong with my language? He said, you asked me if I can help with money? No. Next time you call me, ask me, is there any of God's money available with me? You say, how can you ask me to help? All I have belongs to you. You just ask me, are there ones available? One other one called me and said, I don't like the way when we send money, you call specially and say thank you. I said, no, but I have to be, he said, I know, but that thank you Doesn't sink wet. What are you thanking? If an orange tree does not produce orange fruit, what's it there for? You're on the field preaching, we are supplying the money, everybody doing his own side. So who should thank? And when they speak this way, I learn. Is there any of God's money? So how can they be begging me, Reverend, do you have chance in next 2 weeks? We are doing a program. Can you come and help? I said, okay, I will come and help you people. How many hours will I talk? Help which?